For years, I thought that the problem was that I wasn't disciplined enough. But eventually, I realized that the real problem wasn't my willpower. It was that I was trying to be consistent with a life that was impossible to sustain. To be consistent means to continue to do something over a long period of time, either to reach a certain goal or to adapt into a certain habit. I thought that inconsistency meant lack of discipline. I thought that if I didn't force myself to be disciplined about being consistent, it meant that I lacked discipline to be consistent. When following my schedule, missed workouts, or unfinished to-do lists led to feelings of guilt and shame, which eventually led to a spiral of procrastination. When I started my discipline journey, I tried to do every single thing at once. I wanted to wake up at 5 a.m. I wanted to become a runner. I wanted to become a calisthenics athlete. I wanted to do everything at once. This year, I finally realized exactly what I needed to do in order to stay consistent. I needed to simplify all of my goals and all of my habits and my schedule, which is my key to allowing me to reach my goals. After simplifying everything on my schedule, every single step towards my goals became fun and easy. It was no longer a stress to have to do that, which had mental stress. So when you have mental stress towards a goal that seems very hard to achieve, you're already one step behind because your mind is telling you that you don't want to do it, and then you end up not actually following through. My biggest goal, which encompasses all of my smaller goals, is the journey towards becoming the best version of myself. So within that framework of the biggest goal, every other smaller goal has to then be simplified. And I realized as long as I'm taking a small step towards the bigger goal, it means that I'm actually reaching that goal. Becoming the best version of yourself is actually a lifelong journey. I like to think of one of the best quotes that I've heard with regards to this process is that life is a marathon, not a sprint. So when you apply to a journey that is going to take a lot of time, with a marathon, if you sprint the first few kilometers, you're going to struggle to reach the end. And that applies to life as well. So when you have a goal that is definitely going to take a long time, breaking it up into smaller habits or smaller daily goals that you will actually do is far better than trying to do too much in the beginning and eventually you give up on the end goal. I find that the harder your daily goals are, the harder it is to stay consistent. Because when you're trying to do something daily or a few days within a week, that is a lot of time to have to continue to do something. So the harder it is to actually do that thing multiple times within the week, the harder it's going to be for you to actually stay consistent with it. After simplifying my schedule this year, I truly believe that consistency is difficult because we make it difficult. The harder you make something, the less likely you are to be consistent with it. So initially, I believed that in order to be disciplined, you needed to do the hard things, you needed to go 100%, you needed to push through pain and effort and all of those things. But unfortunately, that just was not working for me. And it was only this year that I actually made a change that now makes me feel excited to get into my routine and to actually take those daily steps towards reaching my goals. Maybe the key to consistency isn't just about being more disciplined. Maybe it's also about creating a life that is simple enough where showing up actually becomes the easy part. Because once showing up is the easy part, once you show up and then have to put in the effort, your job is almost halfway done because showing up is sometimes the hardest part.